Hey boys and girls, this is Wildman Willis here, and I'm doing a review of TLC 2017. Well, it's been a lot of craziness going on before this pay-per-view even started. You had Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt getting sick. I've been hearing either it's the mumps or viral meningitis, one or the other. So, man, because a lot of people was looking forward to this pay-per-view and a lot of people wasn't. I, for one, wasn't too happy about watching this pay per view before the changes, but after the changes, it was a whole different ball game because they decided to make Finn Balor fight AJ Styles. Man, this was a hell of a match, but I need to do a full review of all the rest of the matches and the rest of the card. But can say that this was one of the better pay-per-views that they had because they actually let the people actually wrestle. They didn't have a whole bunch of mess in the match. They didn't have a whole bunch of interferences in the matches. They just let the people wrestle and had a decisive wins and losses except for one match. But that's because of the way the character is. So I had no complaint about that. And to see Kurt Angle back was awesome with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins coming out there, all three of them dressed like Shield. So that was cool to see my man Kurt Angle looking like a G.I. Joe. Hey, he actually fit in pretty good with them too. So I was enjoying that a lot. So I feel like that the vibe in the match and the vibe in the arena was live through most of the show. And I haven't really seen that in a while in WWE because I know a lot of fans are really dreading the direction they're going with certain people in the company that they don't care for or certain people that deserve better than what they got. So maybe the sickness that hit Roman and Bray, I think really helped this pay-per-view more than anything else. So let me get into the matches. And also, this is the first match for Asuka in the main roster. So actually, that was the first match of the night, not counting the pre-show of Sasha Banks and Alicia Fox. That match was just, it wasn't anything of importance. Sasha Banks won. Of course she won. Alicia don't never win nothing. So, the first match actually was Asuka versus Emma, and they put on a hell of a match. They actually let Emma wrestle for once, and she took it to Asuka, but Asuka got that Asuka lock. So when she got a hold of Emma, and that was in the match, but they really let Emma get some good offense in. They actually showed that she actually is a very good wrestler. So I was glad about that. So that really started off the show hot, surprising enough, and a lot of people was into that match. So that was good on them. So the next match it was actually a cruiserweight tag team match. And usually the crowd is dead for these matches. But surprisingly enough, the people was really into this match. It was Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann versus my man Jack Gallagher and Brian Kendrick. So these four people did very good in this match. The crowd was really into the match, but you don't really see too much in the cruiserweight. So that was very pleasant to see a crowd actually reacting to it. That's why I was saying that it was a totally different vibe at this pay-per-view, more than others I've seen since SummerSlam. So the tag team with Rich Swann and Cedric Alexander won the match. It was a pretty good tag team match. So there wasn't that many tag team matches on this card. So that was good to see. So the next match was one of the only few title matches that they had in the match. So it was Alexa Bliss versus Mickie James. Of course, you know Mickie James can go, and the short time she been on the main roster. Alexa Bliss is just amazing as a bad guy. And what I love about her is they actually let her use the DDT as a finish, not a transitional move like it's been for years and years now. They actually let her do the DDT as a finish. So both women worked hard. And what was also cool about both of the title matches was whoever won or lost, they actually had an interview after the match in the ring. So it made the matches actually feel like a real sport like it used to be back in the day. So that was cool to see, even though, of course, we knew Alexa Bliss was going to run away at the end of the match. So Mickie James gave a nice little heartfelt speech and everything. So that was cool to see. So maybe she'll be in the title picture later down on the road, but most likely it's going to be Asuka winning the championship sooner or later. So, wow, I didn't realize that they had both of the title matches back to back. And also they had my man Elias trying to sing his songs, but Jason Jordan kept on messing with him while he was singing and throwing rotten vegetables at him. So that was cool to see, and to actually see Jason Jordan get a pop while he was doing something was cool until he actually got into his match. So, but we'll get into that later. Enzo versus Kalisto. The crowd was dead for this match, surprisingly enough. So, Enzo is not a very good wrestler at all. He's more of a gimmick. So, when it comes to him cheating in the match, he's supposed to be the kind of guy that he's trying to win no matter what. So, it's cool that he doesn't win his matches fair and square. But this match, to me, was one of the worst matches on the card, in my eye. Surprising enough. So, then, to me, we had the match of the night. AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. Man, they killed it in this match. It's just too bad that it was a last minute thing, but what can you do when some of your main stars is hurt? And it actually helped them in the match, having this match, because nobody really wanted to see Bray and Finn fight each other again. Their build-up has been very crappy in my eyes. So having AJ Styles and Finn, knowing these two guys are just hella good in the match. So I was glad to see that. So all in all, Finn and AJ just killed it. I love the match. And Finn actually won the match with the coup de grace. And at the end of the match, the whole crowd gave him a standing ovation, and we got too sweet in the middle of the ring. So the next match was Jason Jordan versus Elias. This was basically the bring the crowd down match for the main event, and nobody really cared about this match. There wasn't nothing really exciting going on in this match. I didn't really care. So Elias lost the match. Jason Jordan won with a pin, and it looked like the referee made a fast 3 count. The commentating crew was arguing about it, so we'll see where this goes later on. So, the end of the night match, the main event. Kurt Angle's return to the ring with Shield members Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose versus The Bar, The Miz, Kane, and Braun Strowman. So basically, this match was the setup. Kane and Braun in the feud. It had Kurt Angle get his shine if he don't have no more matches in WWE. At least this was a cool swan song for him to have. It was a cool little match with Dean and Seth. People didn't even care that Roman wasn't even there, so that's kind of funny to see. I enjoyed this match. I had fun with it. To see Kurt Angle hit people with the ankle slams and 3 suplexes and ankle locks was kind of cool to see. It was cool to see Braun and Kane fighting with each other, because I knew that was going to break down sooner or later, because they was talking crap about each other the week before the pay-per-view. So all in all, only thing I didn't like about the main event was they dragged it on a little bit too long. They could have cut maybe about 7 to 8 minutes in the match, but it was just a fun little match. It actually forced some storylines, and I'm curious how they're going to work this out with how long Roman is going to be out, because we don't know what's going to happen with him, because the stuff he got is nothing to joke with. So, but I was not looking forward to this pay-per-view before the changes, like I said, but after it, I enjoyed this pay-per-view more than any other ones that I've seen in the last couple of months other than SummerSlam. So I'm just glad that they put on a good show. I'm just glad Kurt Angle ain't get hurt up in the match. And that's my review. This is Wildman Willis signing off. See you next time.